Today's video is going to continue on with my DLC level speculation series, but instead of looking at two anthology films that we've gotten so far, the next couple videos are going to be focused around TV shows and series of expandable Star Wars content. When considering what TT Games may plan to do with the series when adapting them into DLCs, it's a more daunting task than simply figuring out the main plot points, especially when there's at least 10 episodes and a handful of seasons. Nonetheless, the next few weeks I'll be taking a look at Season 7 of The Clone Wars, The Mandalorian, and of course today's video on Star Wars Rebels. Hey everyone, it's Logan, and at this point most of you probably know, but for those who don't or are new to the channel, I've done a level speculation video for all 9 films in the Skywalker Saga, as well as trilogy recaps, so if you haven't seen those, you can find all of the videos in the Skywalker Saga playlist on my channel page. Rebels is an interesting topic because I've never actually watched the show myself, as I felt it was aimed more towards a younger audience, especially what I understand about the first season, but from what I've been able to gather recently, it seems like the later seasons, especially season 3 and 4, Rebels began to define its own story and pushed aside supporting characters like Darth Vader and Ahsoka to focus more on developing the main character storylines. I want to take a quick moment to thank everyone who responded to my community post a few weeks back and suggested what they'd like to see out of a Rebels DLC. So after catching up with the entire series and reading those comments, I feel as if I now have a pretty good grasp on a few potential level ideas that could be included in this DLC for the Skywalker Saga. Another thing I wanted to discuss briefly is that we know each episode will contain 5 levels each in the game, and although I may include 4 or 5 levels in each DLC speculation, I would honestly assume that we'd only get 1 level from this expandable content, considering that we'll more than likely be getting new characters, vehicles, and potentially a new planet, or various additional locations. For this video, I'll be discussing the potential level possibilities in the order in which they were revealed throughout the 4 seasons of Star Wars Rebels. Before we get into Rebels, I wanted to state that all comments and opinions reflected in this video come solely from myself. This video is pure speculation and does not reflect any thoughts or comments previously expressed by the game's developers, TT Games. The following level layouts will more than likely not directly reflect what we will see in the actual game, but make these videos regarding what we could see once the game is released. I should also note that each of these levels will probably be shorter in length than what we'll get with the normal Skywalker Saga levels, but nonetheless, I'm going to talk about what I think should be included in each of these potential DLC options. Now, with all that information out of the way, let's begin with Chapter 1 titled The Inquisitor. A lot of these potential levels will focus around important battles shown throughout the first 2 seasons of Rebels, and the only level from Season 1 to be included would be the Inquisitor fight at the end of the season finale. The fight between the Inquisitor, Kanan, and Ezra would be very reminiscent of the fight between Darth Maul, Qui-Gon, and Obi-Wan, which was honestly a great callback to the Phantom Menace in the series, but didn't feel like a direct copy. Unlike most boss fights in LEGO Star Wars levels, which include numerous enemies alongside the boss, this one would focus more on the one-to-one combat. This level would also work great for co-op, considering it's 2 against 1, so this idea makes for a great level concept in general. Chapter 2, Rebel Rebellion, would be the only space battle included in this DLC, which would allow the Ghost to be a playable option and a great introduction into the Skywalker Saga. Now, the majority of this level would have us experiencing the events through Vader's perspective, flying his TIE Advanced and defeating all of Phoenix Squadron while damaging the Liberator. Afterwards, we switch to the perspective of the Ghost, damaging Vader's TIE Advanced just enough before he manages to escape. All in all, this level may be more of a stretch than some of the others, but it feels like the best way to introduce the Ghost into the game through the storyline. Probably one of the more likely levels to be included in this DLC would be Chapter 3, Jedi Remains, which focuses on the huge fight between the Inquisitors, Ahsoka, Kanan, and Ezra, not to mention Maul, who saw his introduction into the series with this storyline. Due to the sheer nature of the characters we could get out of this level, including Maul's rebel skin, this level was definitely one that I knew needed to be included in this video. The main character would of course be Maul, with the option of switching between any of the other supporting characters, but the main layout of this level would include fighting the Inquisitors one by one until they are all defeated. In addition, after defeating each Inquisitor, the next becomes increasingly more difficult to defeat, with more overall health and increased damage. The last main level on this list is the top spot for what I want to see out of a Rebels DLC, and that would include the finale of Season 2 with the fight between Ahsoka and Darth Vader. Chapter 4, Reunion, would focus on the fight between the former friends, and would play out very similarly to how the Mustafar level did from the complete saga, meaning that you have the option to switch between Ahsoka and Vader, and no matter who defeats who first, the ending cutscene would remain the same. Even though this level would be less dynamic than some of the other options, this scene from Rebels probably had some of the most emotion out of the entire 4 seasons, and definitely deserves a spot in this DLC. Even though there's only 4 main levels featured in this video, I thought it'd be cool to include a bonus level surrounding the final Darth Maul and Obi-Wan fight on Tatooine. Even though it's not the most dynamic or lengthy battle, TT Games could easily draw this fight out for a couple of minutes, and I figured it could be a good ending point for this DLC as it leads right into A New Hope, more or less. Star Wars Rebels has a ton of content that was established between its 4 seasons, and there's plenty of characters that I would expect to see included in the Skywalker Saga, such as Hera Syndulla and Agent Kallus, which unfortunately didn't make their way into this DLC speculation video based on the levels that I had designed and the ones that seem most popular for TT Games to include. Now, there's always a possibility that some of these characters that fall outside of a DLC may be included in character expansion packs, but with everything else, we'll just have to wait and see what we could expect from the expandable content that comes with the game, probably releasing all throughout 2021. Nonetheless, if only one level makes its way into a Rebels DLC, I would like to see the Maul and Rebels fight against the Inquisitors, but let me know down below in the comments what you personally want to see. Did I miss something important that you believe should have been included, or would you be pretty happy with what I've discussed thus far? If you liked this video, please be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already to get notified when the next DLC focused on the Clone Wars Season 7 releases next Saturday. Thanks for watching everyone, hope you all have a great day and are staying safe, and I'll see you in the next video.